I'm Robert. I'm 76 years old, and I missed my daughter's entire childhood because I thought I was building her future. I was wrong about everything that mattered. The day I realized it was a Tuesday morning in March 2019. I was sitting in my study, sorting through old boxes my wife had brought down from the attic. She'd been after me for months to help clear things out. "We're not getting any younger, Robert," she'd said. "We need to deal with this stuff." I found a shoebox filled with school programs, dance recitals, school plays, soccer match schedules. Every single one had Emily's name on it, my daughter, and next to almost every date, in my wife's handwriting, were two words that appeared again and again: Dad working. I sat there holding a program from her fifth grade play. She'd played Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. I remember my secretary putting it on my calendar. I remember the morning of the performance when a client called with an emergency. I remember telling myself it was just a school play, that Emily would understand, that there would be other performances. I made it to exactly none of them. There's a photograph paper-clipped to that program. My daughter in her Dorothy dress, standing between her mother and her grandmother. There's an empty space next to her mother. That's where I should have been. I'm 76 years old, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, I traded my daughter's childhood for things that don't matter anymore. Cases I can barely remember, clients whose names I've forgotten, money that sits in accounts I rarely think about. The truly devastating part? I did it on purpose. I knew what I was choosing. The lie I told myself. Let me take you back to 1995. Emily was 7 years old. I was 45, a partner at one of the largest law firms in the city. We lived in a beautiful house in the suburbs, private school for Emily, 2 cars, annual vacations, everything a family could want, except me. I left for the office at 6:30 every morning. Emily would still be asleep. I'd come home around 9 or 10 when at night. She'd be asleep again. On good weeks, I might see her for an hour on Saturday morning before I went back to the office to catch up on paperwork. My wife, Jennifer, tried to talk to me about it. I remember one night, must have been late 1996, she sat me down after Emily had gone to bed. "Robert," she said, "Emily asked me today if you still live here." I laughed. I actually laughed. "That's ridiculous. Of course I live here." "Then why don't you act like it?" I got defensive. I told her I was working hard for our family. I was building security. I was making sure Emily would have opportunities I never had. I was paying for that beautiful house she loved, for Emily's private school, for the life we were living. She doesn't need things, Robert. She needs her father. I remember what I said next because it's haunted me for 20 years. She'll understand when she's older. She'll be grateful I worked hard to give her a good life. That's the lie, you see. The lie every absent parent tells themselves. They'll understand later, they'll appreciate it when they grow up, they'll be thankful for the opportunities. Emily's 36 years old now. She's polite to me, distant but polite. She calls on my birthday and Father's Day. She brings her 2 kids to visit maybe 3 or 4 times a year, always briefly. Her husband, Mark, makes excuses about why they can't stay longer, but I know the real reason. She doesn't know me, and I don't know her. How could we? I was never there. The moments I didn't notice missing. Here's what nobody tells you about being an absent parent. You don't realize what you're missing while you're missing it. The moments slip away so quietly. Emily learned to ride a bike on a Saturday afternoon in May 1994. I was in a deposition. Jennifer called me that evening, excited, telling me about how Emily had finally figured it out, how she'd ridden all the way down the block without training wheels. "That's wonderful," I said, and then I went back to reviewing documents. I didn't think about that moment again until about 10 years ago when I saw a father teaching his daughter to ride a bike in the park. The little girl's face, that mixture of fear and determination. The father running alongside, hand on the seat, the moment she realized she was doing it herself. The pure joy. I missed that. I missed my daughter's joy. Her first school dance. Missed it. I was in court. Her first heartbreak at 14, when some boy rejected her, missed it. I was on a business trip to Chicago, her high school graduation speech, almost missed it because of a client meeting. Jennifer literally threatened to leave me if I didn't show up. I made it to the ceremony, but left immediately after to get back to the office. I never asked Emily what her speech was about. There's a concept in physics called entropy, the gradual decline into disorder. That's what happened to my relationship with my daughter. It didn't break all at once. It degraded slowly, meeting by meeting, missed moment by missed moment, until one day I looked up and realized we were strangers. The conversation I'll never forget. Emily confronted me about it once, just once. She was 28, recently engaged to Mark. We were having dinner at a nice restaurant, the four of us, Emily, Mark, Jennifer, and me. Mark excused himself to take a phone call, and Jennifer went to the restroom. It was just Emily and me at the table. I was making small talk about the wedding, asking about venues and dates, trying to be involved, trying to be the father I'd never actually been. Emily set down her wine glass and looked at me. "Dad, can I ask you something?" "Of course. Do you know what my favorite subject was in school?" I thought about it. I drew a complete blank. "English?" I guessed. "You always seemed to like reading." I hated English. I loved math. Took advanced calculus in high school. Almost majored in mathematics in college. I didn't know that. How did I not know that? "I'm sorry," I said. "I should have." "Do you remember any of my friends' names from high school?" Silence. "Do you know what I wanted to be when I was little?" More silence. More. "Dad, I'm not angry anymore. I was angry for a long time, but I'm not anymore. I'm just sad because you missed it all. You missed knowing me, and now it's too late." "It's not too late," I said, but even as I said it, I knew it was. "I'm 28 years old. I'm getting married in 4 months. I'm starting my own family. We can be polite to each other at holidays, and you can be a grandfather to my kids, but you can't be my father, not really. That ship sailed 20 years ago." She wasn't cruel about it. Her voice was quiet, almost gentle. That somehow made it worse. "I wanted you there," she continued, "at my piano recitals, at my soccer games, just sitting with me doing homework. I wanted to show you my report cards in person, not have Mom mail them to your office. I wanted you to meet my boyfriends, to give me advice about college, to help me move into my first apartment. I wanted a dad." Jennifer came back to the table. Mark returned from his call. We finished dinner. We talked about wedding plans and honeymoon destinations. We paid the bill and said goodnight in the parking lot. Emily hugged me before she left. "I do love you, Dad," she said. "I just wish I knew you." I stood in that parking lot for 20 minutes after they drove away. In the day the firm forgot me. You want to know the truly cosmic joke? The firm I sacrificed my family for doesn't even remember me. I retired at 70. There was a small party. Maybe 30 people showed up, most of them from my generation, most of them also retired. The young partners came for 15 minutes, ate some cake, and left. 2 of them asked what department I'd been in. I'd given that firm 35 years of my life. I'd missed birthdays and anniversaries and dance recitals and soccer games. I'd worked weekends and holidays. I'd brought in millions of dollars in billings. I'd mentored dozens of young lawyers. 6 years later, I ran into one of the senior partners at a restaurant. He walked right past me, didn't recognize me at all. The cases I worked on, settled and forgotten. The clients I represented, they hired other lawyers the moment I retired. The office I occupied for 20 years. Someone else sits there now, probably someone who's making the same mistakes I made. But you know what hasn't been forgotten? Every single moment I wasn't there for Emily. She remembers every missed recital, every soccer game I didn't attend, every parent-teacher conference where her mother sat alone, every Father's Day when I was in the office instead of with her. The firm forgot me in 6 years. My daughter will remember my absence for the rest of her life. What I know, now I'm 76 years old. I have money in the bank. I have a nice house. I have a comfortable retirement. I have a wall full of awards and plaques from my legal career. I also have a daughter who politely tolerates my presence in her life. My grandchildren, Emily's kids, Jackson is 8, Sophia is 5, they're polite to me too. Emily's trained them well. They call me Grandpa. They give me hugs when they arrive and when they leave. They thank me for birthday presents I had my assistant pick out. But they don't know me either, because Emily doesn't bring them over much, and I can't blame her. Why would she? I didn't make time for her when she was growing up. Why should she make time for me now? Last month, I was watching them in the backyard. Emily and Mark and the kids. They were playing some game, all 4 of them laughing, completely absorbed in each other. It was beautiful. It was also everything I'd missed with Emily. Jennifer came and stood next to me. "She's a good mother," I said. "She learned from her mistakes," Jennifer replied. "I wasn't a mistake." "No, but your priorities were." She wasn't being cruel, just honest. After 50 years of marriage, we can be honest. The letter I'll never send. I've written Emily a letter about a dozen times in the last few years, trying to explain, trying to apologize, trying to make her understand why I made the choices I made. I throw it away every time, because there is no explanation that matters. There's no apology that will give her back her childhood. There's nothing I can say that will undo 20 years of absence. I thought I was securing her future by working so hard. I thought I was being a good father by providing for her. I thought she would have more opportunities because of my sacrifice. But I never asked her what she wanted. She didn't want a bigger house. She wanted me to tuck her in at night. She didn't want private school. She wanted me to help with her homework. She didn't want expensive vacations. She wanted me to be at her soccer games. She didn't want the inheritance I'm leaving her. She wanted a father, and I chose the money. Every single time I chose the money. What I'd tell my younger self, if I could go back and talk to 45-year-old Robert, the one who laughed when Emily asked if I still lived there, here's what I'd say. That client emergency? It's not an emergency. Someone else can handle it. That deposition? It can be rescheduled. That business trip? Send someone else. That corner office? It's just a room. That partnership? It's just a title. Your daughter's childhood? It happens once. And you're missing it. You think you're building her future. You're not. You're building your resume while someone else raises your kid. You think she'll understand later. She won't. She'll just understand that you weren't there. You think you're making sacrifices for your family. You're not. You're making sacrifices of your family. For what? For money? For status? For the respect of people who'll forget you the moment you retire? Your daughter is 7 years old right now. In 11 years, she'll leave for college. That's all you have. 11 years. And you're spending it in conference rooms instead of at her soccer games. Stop. Just stop. The world will not fall apart if you leave at 5. Your clients will find another lawyer. Your cases will get handled. Your career will be fine. But your daughter's childhood will not wait for you. And once it's gone forever. The truth nobody wants to hear. Here's what makes all of this harder to accept. I knew. Deep down, I always knew. I knew when I missed that school play that I was making the wrong choice. I knew when I went into the office on Saturday instead of to Emily's soccer game that I was choosing wrong. I knew every time I hung up on Jennifer when she called to tell me about something Emily had done that day that I was missing what mattered. I knew, but I did it anyway because it was easier to keep doing what I was doing than to change. Because the law firm was comfortable, because I knew how to be a good lawyer, but I didn't know how to be a good father, because work gave me immediate feedback, wins and losses, praise and criticism, while parenting felt unclear and messy. Because I was a coward, I hid in my office and told myself I was being noble. I hid behind billable hours and told myself I was being responsible. I hid from my family and called it sacrifice, and Emily paid the price. The peace I've had to find. I can't get those years back. I can't undo my choices. I can't rewrite history. What I can do is stop lying to myself about it. I wasn't a good father. I wasn't even an adequate father. I was present for the easy parts, writing checks, showing up at graduations, walking her down the aisle at her wedding, and absent for everything else. Jennifer did the real work. Jennifer was there for the science fair projects and the friend drama and the homework help and the nightmares and the sick days and the heartbreaks. Jennifer raised our daughter. I just funded it. And the thing is, Emily turned out wonderful despite me, not because of me. She's kind and smart and present with her own children in ways I never was. She learned from my mistakes, but that doesn't absolve me. It just means she's stronger than I was. What I'm telling you, if you're reading this and you have young children, put down your phone, close your laptop, leave work at a reasonable hour. Your kids don't need you to be perfect. They don't need you to make the most money or have the most prestigious job. They don't need a bigger house or fancier vacations. They need you, present, paying attention, knowing them. They need you at their soccer games, even when they spend most of the time on the bench. They need you at their piano recitals, even when they mess up. They need you to help with homework, even when you don't remember how to do long division. They need you to be there, because I'm telling you from the other side of 76 years, every single thing I thought mattered doesn't. The cases I won, the money I made, the respect I earned, none of it matters. The only thing that matters is that my daughter grew up feeling like she didn't matter to me, and now I'm old and I'm running out of time and I can't fix it. Don't do what I did. Don't trade your children's childhood for anything. Not for money, not for success, not for security, not for anything. Because I promise you, when you're my age, looking back, you won't remember the meetings you attended. You'll remember the ones you missed, and it will break your heart. I'm Robert. I'm 76 years old. And if I could trade every dollar I made for one more chance to tuck my daughter in at night, I would do it in a heartbeat. But time doesn't work that way. So I'm telling you now, while you still have time, go home. Be there. Show up. Your future self will thank you. Your children already need you.